In this episode of the Joe Rogan Experience, Joe Rogan welcomes guests Josh Dubin, a prominent attorney known for his work in wrongful conviction cases, and J.D. Tomlinson, the former prosecuting attorney for Lorain County, Ohio. The conversation dives deep into the complexities of the criminal justice system, the challenges of exonerating wrongfully convicted individuals, and the personal experiences that shaped both guests' perspectives on justice and accountability. One of the central topics of discussion is the Ohio 4 case, which involves four men wrongfully convicted of a murder they did not commit. Dubin explains that the case revolves around the murder of Marcia Blakely in the 1990s, where the four men became suspects without any substantial evidence against them. The police investigation was flawed from the start, as it relied heavily on the testimony of a paid informant, William Avery Jr., who later recanted his statements. Dubin emphasizes the importance of understanding the systemic failures that led to these wrongful convictions, highlighting how the initial rush to judgment can have devastating consequences. Tomlinson, who was the prosecuting attorney during the time of the case, reflects on the challenges he faced in navigating the complexities of the legal system. He acknowledges that the case was a significant turning point in his career, as it forced him to confront the realities of wrongful convictions and the impact they have on individuals and their families. Both guests expressed their commitment to seeking justice for the Ohio 4 and the importance of addressing the systemic issues that allow such miscarriages of justice to occur. The conversation shifts to the role of prosecutors in the criminal justice system. Dubin argues that prosecutors often operate under immense pressure to secure convictions, which can lead to unethical practices and a disregard for the truth. He points out that the lack of accountability for prosecutors can result in a culture where winning becomes more important than justice. Tomlinson shares his experiences as a prosecutor, discussing the challenges of balancing the pursuit of justice with the expectations of the community and the political ramifications of their decisions. Tomlinson also reflects on his own journey and the lessons he learned from his time in office. He emphasizes the need for prosecutors to be open to the possibility of wrongful convictions and to approach their work with humility and a commitment to truth. Both guests agree that fostering a culture of accountability within prosecutorial offices is essential for preventing future injustices and ensuring that the legal system serves its intended purpose. Dubin and Tomlinson delve into the profound impact that wrongful convictions have on individuals, families, and communities. Dubin shares stories of clients he has represented who have spent decades in prison for crimes they did not commit. He highlights the psychological toll that incarceration takes on these individuals, as well as the ripple effects on their families and loved ones. The emotional weight of these stories is palpable, as both guests express their deep empathy for those who have suffered due to systemic failures. Tomlinson adds that the consequences of wrongful convictions extend beyond the individuals involved. They erode public trust in the legal system and create a sense of disillusionment within communities. He emphasizes the importance of restoring faith in the justice system by addressing these issues head-on and working towards meaningful reform. The discussion underscores the need for a collective effort to prevent wrongful convictions and to support those who have been wronged by the system. Transparency in the legal process is another key theme in the conversation. Dubin argues that a lack of transparency can lead to a culture of secrecy and mistrust, which ultimately undermines the integrity of the justice system. He advocates for greater openness in prosecutorial practices, including the sharing of evidence and the rationale behind decisions made by prosecutors. Tomlinson agrees, noting that transparency is essential for building trust between law enforcement, prosecutors, and the communities they serve. Both guests discuss the role of public opinion in shaping the legal landscape. Dubin emphasizes that when the public is informed about the realities of wrongful convictions and the challenges faced by those seeking justice, it can lead to meaningful change. Tomlinson adds that engaging the community in discussions about the legal system can help foster a sense of shared responsibility and accountability, ultimately leading to a more just and equitable society. The psychological toll of incarceration is a poignant topic in the discussion. Dubin shares his experiences working with clients who have been wrongfully convicted, highlighting the trauma they endured during their time in prison. He explains that many of these individuals struggle with feelings of hopelessness, isolation, and despair, which can have lasting effects on their mental health. The emotional scars left by wrongful convictions can be as damaging as the physical ones, and Dubin emphasizes the need for comprehensive support systems for those who have been exonerated. Tomlinson reflects on the broader implications of wrongful convictions for society as a whole. He argues that when individuals are wrongfully imprisoned, it not only affects them, but also their families and communities. The loss of potential, the disruption of lives, and the erosion of trust in the justice system create a cycle of trauma that can be difficult to break. Both guests agree that addressing the psychological impact of incarceration is crucial for promoting healing and restoring justice. The role of media in shaping public perception of criminal cases is another important subject discussed in the podcast. Dubin points out that media coverage can significantly influence the outcomes of high-profile cases, often leading to public pressure on prosecutors and law enforcement. He emphasizes the need for responsible reporting that accurately reflects the complexities of the legal system and the potential for wrongful convictions. Tomlinson adds that sensationalized media narratives can create a distorted view of justice, making it difficult for the public to understand the nuances of individual cases. Both guests acknowledge the power of media to raise awareness about wrongful convictions and to advocate for reform. Dubin shares examples of how media attention has helped bring attention to specific cases, leading to increased public support for exoneration efforts. Tomlinson agrees that when the media shines a light on injustices, it can create a sense of urgency for change and compel those in power to take action. As the conversation progresses, Dubin and Tomlinson discuss the urgent need for systemic reform within the criminal justice system. Dubin argues that addressing the root causes of wrongful convictions requires a comprehensive approach that includes changes to prosecutorial practices, law enforcement training, and public policy. He emphasizes the importance of creating a system that prioritizes justice over winning, ensuring that the rights of individuals are protected throughout the legal process. Tomlinson echoes this sentiment, highlighting the need for ongoing education and training for prosecutors and law enforcement officials. He believes that fostering a culture of accountability and transparency is essential for preventing future injustices. Both guests agree that meaningful reform will require collaboration between various stakeholders, including legal professionals, community organizations, and policymakers. Tomlinson shares his personal journey as a prosecutor and the challenges he faced during his time in office. He reflects on the lessons he learned from his experiences, particularly in relation to the Ohio 4 case. Tomlinson acknowledges that his perspective on justice has evolved over time, and he is now more aware of the complexities and nuances of the legal system. He emphasizes the importance of humility and the willingness to learn from mistakes, both personally and professionally. The discussion highlights the transformative power of personal experiences in shaping one's understanding of justice. Tomlinson's journey serves as a reminder that even those in positions of power can grow and change, ultimately leading to a more compassionate and just approach to the legal system. His willingness to confront the realities of wrongful convictions and to advocate for reform is a testament to the potential for positive change within the criminal justice system. As the podcast draws to a close, Dubin and Tomlinson discuss the future of justice reform and the challenges that lie ahead. Dubin expresses his hope for a more equitable legal system that prioritizes truth and accountability. He emphasizes the importance of continued advocacy for those who have been wrongfully convicted and the need for systemic changes to prevent future injustices. Tomlinson shares his vision for a justice system that is transparent, fair, and responsive to the needs of the community. Both guests agree that the fight for justice is far from over, and they remain committed to working towards meaningful reform. They emphasize the importance of collaboration and dialogue among all stakeholders in the legal system, including prosecutors, defense attorneys, law enforcement, and the community.